It's dun 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 dun.
My video.
What
I
happened?
added it. I don't know. I added my video, but it didn't play it. Hello, everybody.
Dun 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 dun.
Okay, I want to talk about
copyright strike. Click
No,
here.
I don't want a copyright strike.
Full experience. I should
start spreading the news.
New York, New York,
New York. Okay. Sorry, guys. I just had an edible and hella hits of my vape, my weed vape, because my kids are gonna stay at my mom's tonight, so I can party a little bit. So yeah, if I'm weird, just let me be weird. And I love that no one's here yet, but I'm still giving this disclaimer. Okay. I want to tell you about some school board drama.
Oh, this is such good. You have the little chyrons on the top, like we're CNN now. It's so cool. It's like Jake Tapper. You don't.
That's how I got a lot of views last time. By doing like what's
Dude,
what we're
that's what I'm saying, bro. You have your gangsters move in silence. Meg doesn't talk a lot.
I talk a fuck ton, but yeah, I am a gangster. Okay, but like for real, I want to tell you about the school board drama because you're gonna feel how fucking annoying it is in your soul. Are you ready?
I'm ready to hear about it because Michael Sachs is the guy who's like a big APAC dude, right?
Yeah. So he funded the pop-up Elect Chicago Women and like the progressive, like those fake APAC shells.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, this is not a story. Yeah, I'm listening. Keep going though. I'm trying to
I'm gonna let you do your story. That's a great duck face.
It's duck face with the Korean heart. And I got Chumbawamba as the background. What should we do? Twitch.tv. TV. Yeah, let's just do the link tree. I got to make my link tree for Party Crashers though. Except it has like my IMDb on it. Have you seen my IMDb?
No. Wait, I'm gonna Google you. I'm gonna take the screen from you while you're doing that, so I can look up your IMDb. Okay, IMDb Steve Tapas. Okay. Haha. Sharing screen. Allowed to share window. No, not this window. What is it doing? No, I don't want to share this window. Oh, that window. Duh. Share this window.
Chat, say hello. What's up, Instagrams? Let's see.
Okay. First of all, why don't you have a headshot on your IMDb page?
Because it's $20 a month for that.
Dude.
That's my IMDb. What do we got? We got Divergent. Okay.
Yeah. So tell us about your time.
Yeah, tell you about
your time on Divergent.
Okay. So I got my job on Divergent when I got back from Spain. How in depth do you want to go in my origin story? I used to do stand-up comedy. So no, I got the job.
No, do it because we can skip over school board. Let's just do this and then
we have to talk about Michael Sachs.
Okay. We will, but Fair's gonna come in at 2:45. So let's like enjoy your origin story. Then we'll get into that, and then we'll see what we're in the mood to cover after Farah.
All right, let me fix your screen so it looks better. Not that your screen looks bad. I just want to make sure that the viewers can see it. So
you can make it wider.
The problem is there you go, like that. That's good.
Okay. So
the
Divergent Tapas. Hold on. We're gonna start this segment over. Okay. We are gonna look at Steve's IMDb page. Steven Tapas does not have a headshot or a photo here because it costs $20 a month. I'm going to ask somebody to go to his Buy Me a Coffee and subscribe $20 a month to pay for this headshot.
For the IBMDB Plus, yeah.
Just for that. Okay, so first, tell us about Divergent. What do you want us to know about your job?
I got that job because a friend of mine was like, you can get a job possibly on this movie that's filming in Chicago with Shailene Woodley, who I didn't know who that was, and Kate Winslet. So I basically went on a tour of Chicago Fire with that person and then met the production secretary. Shout out Felicia. She's the greatest. And I basically just called her once a week for 6 months, asking her if there was any work. And then she basically told me, like, on the last 2 weeks of the production, they're like, we need people to break down boxes. So I was like, ooh, I'll do that. And then I did it. And then I walked over to my next job and got a next job. Actually, that was a cool job. Divergent was cool because I got to meet the guy who was the producer of Gladiator that won the Best Picture.
I fucking love that movie.
That was the coolest guy. I met him, and then he was like, I was like, hey, I'm supposed to undo your I'm supposed to take out your trash. He's like, I got it. And then somebody was like, that was Doug Wick. He was the producer of Gladiator. And I was like, he didn't even take out his didn't even make me take out his trash. That guy's a hero. And
that's so nice.
Yeah,
okay,
really
cool.
nice,
I guess you can meet your heroes sometimes.
Yeah, just like, yeah, exactly. And then Kate Winslet was on that movie, and she was cool. And the craziest thing I had to do though was Theo James. You know, there was this thing that happened where he's like
Timu James Franco.
Yeah, I think he's hotter than James Franco.
I think he is hotter, but he doesn't have the same like name, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
So
he probably doesn't know who I am. He definitely does not know who I am because I never met him, but I will tell this story in the effort that he ever finds out about who I am. Because when he was on Divergent, it was like their last day.
Tag him in the comments chat.
Yeah, tag James. If you know Theo James, if you have a plug. Actually, I know somebody who's his neighbor, but a friend of the neighbor. But apparently, like, one day he was like on the last days of shooting Divergent, and like he was like called the production office. He's like, I really want a bottle of Malbec, and I need to get my guitar out of the Chicago Music Exchange, and it closes at 6 o'clock, and I'm going back home, which was like somewhere in Europe, tomorrow. So they're like, Tapas, you're on it. And I'm like, God damn it, bro. So I ended up, they're like, okay, like, go get this bottle of wine, which Malbec is Argentinian for, it means like bad. It means like in Spanish, it's like Malbec, which is like bad taste. Like, and it's because Argentinian wine was kind of a mix of all these bad wines, and then they started making good wine, so they owned it. But I knew that much about Malbec, so I'm like, okay, I got to go to the Argentina section after I get the guitar. So I showed up, grabbed the guitar. I'm like, all of this traffic, construction, like weaving, like got the guitar in the back. It's in my like 96 Jetta or Camry. I get the Malbec and then like show up, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm here to give this to Theo, whatever his name is. And they're like, oh, that's all right, you can just give
Theo
it.
Vaughn?
Theo James. Yeah.
Theo James.
Like, you can just give it to me. And I was like, okay, perfect. Yeah. I really don't. This seems like this is going to be a lot. So yeah, that was kind of like, I did a good job with that. And then
good job.
So that was,
did you get a raise that day?
Was my time on Divergent. That was the best thing I did.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, I did a lot of other stuff, but yeah, that was pretty.
But that was your favorite like thing.
Yeah, that was kind of when I understood that being a pledge in a fraternity is like the single best thing for preparing for a job in movie production. Is just knowing that when somebody tells you to do something, you just fucking figure it out. That's like the whole. And you can do that. You can, like, that lesson. You were never in a fraternity, so it's pretty. Once you know that, you're good. So
yeah. Okay. Now, you had 50 episodes on Chicago PD. How was that propaganda series for you?
It was good. I had a lot of fun on that one. I'm still friends with a lot of people. They were gonna be a lot of people were gonna be in my wedding from that show. And my good buddy Leroyce, I started doing stand up with him because I met him through the show, and when I was a PA, and then I became the assistant to a 4-time Emmy winning producer on that show for like 36 episodes, which was for 2 or 3 seasons. But he was good. I learned a lot about like movies and TV, and just like I learned a lot about life from that guy. He's great. Love him. No, that was great. And then it was also the time when I submitted a spec script to write for the show, and basically no one had the heart to be like, you're really not good at writing drama. Except my old boss did tell me, he was like, Tapas, drama's not your bag, but I've seen you do stand up and you're funny, so you should go do your own thing. And I was like, so don't move to LA and work into the writer's room is what you're saying. He's like, yeah, don't do that. And so that was like 10 years ago. And the funny thing is that like the thing that like got everybody thinking that maybe I shouldn't be working in television is we scouted, we went all sorts of places. Like we filmed in Cook County Jail. We filmed at we had to go scout Cook County. We filmed 4 pilots on that, 3 pilots. So we filmed 2 pilots of Chicago Med, 1 pilot of Chicago Justice, which didn't get picked up. And then we had to scout Cook County Courthouse on 26 and Cal. Mm-hmm. And I remember going into like a federal courtroom or whatever kind of courtroom it was. And like, we're all like talking. And then I got into the witness stand and I did the monologue from A Few Good Men that Jack Nicholson does. I was like, you want the truth. It's like, you can't handle the truth. He goes, there's a part of you at cocktail parties that you don't like to talk about that makes you know that you need men like me. You want men like me. It's like, did you order the code red on Private Santiago? I did what I had to do. Did you order the code red? You did right, I did. And then my boss was like, at the time, he's like, Tapas, you need to get the fuck out of here and go do comedy. That's so funny. It was really good. So then I ended up leaving after that season, and that was a great decision. That's cool. And that's when I started getting cast and shit to do on the other side of the camera, as you can see.
Yeah. Okay. So this year there was the Chicago Med episode. Should I watch this episode?
Yeah. I mean, I'm in the cold open.
Hell yeah.
Green. You can see me. I'm actually, fun fact is I have 3 SAG parts, 2 of which I am naked in. So 2 out of my 3 appearances in the Screen Actors Guild productions that I've appeared in involved me not wearing my shirt. Actually, I had to join.
So that's like your niche.
It is kind of my niche. In fact, there are 3 other roles that on the internet where you can see me without my shirt on as well. And actually, I had to call the SAG office because my buddy is shooting a movie that he didn't register with the Screen Actors Guild, and my part involved me not wearing a shirt. And so he had to what's up, everybody? There's 15 people in the chat. No one said hello. That's very hurtful. Say hello, my little friend.
So sad.
But yeah, no, all of them involved me not wearing a shirt. But I had to be cut from that movie, otherwise I would be breaking the SAG agreement.
Yeah.
So and then yeah, I did a short called Killer Set for my friends, the Kidwells. That was SAG. Cool. Love the Kidwells. I did Augmented, which was a weird short I did at the back of a Chinese restaurant. That was like a thing. I did Win It All with Jake Johnson and Nikki Excitement, who I still see at my local bar. Fun guy. And then yeah, I've done a bunch of other shit, but yeah, that's my short little trip down memory lane. That's
fun.
I am a professional though, Meg. I've been putting this shit on my taxes for quite some time. I have, I'm not just a guy with a mustache, okay?
Yeah. I mean, you just became a guy with a mustache. So.
I just became a guy with a mustache, but
yes.
I've been self-actualizing for a decade now.
Okay. Do you want me to get into Michael Sachs?
Yes, I want to know the Michael Sachs school board story, because everything I know about Michael Sachs is basically that. Do you have resources for this?
I have everything. Don't you worry, buddy. I'm going to pull up.
Don't you worry about a
thing. Okay.
Hello from California, Fall Mason. Come join us on Twitch, YouTube, or Substack so we can support ourselves in this endeavor.
Okay. First things first. Since 1872, Chicago's school board has been appointed instead of elected.
What?
So, yes.
Seriously?
So, the last 30 years since 1995, it was appointed specifically by the mayor. So we've really never had a Democratic school board situation, which makes sense.
Moms for Liberty would hate that.
They would. No, they would love this. So organizers have been fighting for 15 years to make it so that people can vote for school board races. Okay. So then it finally passed, and you can see here, the governor signed it, Pritzker signed it back in 2021, that beginning in, it would be like a hybrid. So beginning 2025, Chicago will have a 21-person school board and phase in elections for those seats, a change that would establish school board elections for the first time in history. Okay, so can you imagine how the billionaires feel if they no longer can just tell the mayor who they want on the school board? Or
yeah, because they're so hardcore pushing charter schools and shit. They hate public education. That's like Reed Hoffman's like little pet project in Chicago. Is like ruining public schools.
Yes. So this came out in February. PACs, billionaires, and labor unions are gearing up for a Chicago school board race where contributions are expected to top the $13 million spent on the 2024 elections. And I can't read. Oh, I could read it for free. God damn. But basically, like, when people take their power, the ruling fucking class says abso-fucking-lutely not. I will not let you democratically elect a school board and a school board president. So Michael Sachs starts pouring tons of money into the school board elections. And CTU back in May then sent him a
Chicago Teachers
letter.
Union for the uninitiated.
Yes. Chicago Teachers Union sent a letter, and I'm not going to read the whole thing. I will summarize it, though. Basically, it says that the Chicago school board fight over money is akin to Tennessee, which is when voting rights in Tennessee were, basically dismantled, this redistricting thing, and the South, calling it all part of one democracy crisis. Her line, we shouldn't have Jim Crow decide elections in the South or billionaires decide them in the North. She also cites his op-ed he wrote back in March in the Tribune, basically saying like there should be room in the Democratic tent for AIPAC, and how he invoked the late CTU leader Karen Lewis, his stated opposition to school closures, support for progressive revenue, and whatever. So on paper, she's saying, listen, I agree with you on these things, but in order to prove your values that you claim to have in that op-ed, please suspend further contributions to this race and stop funding fly-by-night operators to try to run the school board. Okay. So she says, let's have a private conversation so we can jointly spread this message together. Then she lists a ton of receipts saying, these are all the PACs you funded. This is when you funded a dark money PAC for the March primaries. And these are like, she's just like given receipts on basically, you need to stay out of this. Democracy is, you're interfering with democracy. And then she says, we owe Chicago's voters a school board election that belongs to Chicago's voters, not Wall Street, not to the Silicon Valley, not to a constellation of shell committees that will move on to the next race the day after ours is decided. And she says that with Trump forecasting that he will end free and fair elections and send armed agents to the polls, Chicago's civic, labor, and philanthropic class should show restraint now rather than fight this battle with money. Okay.
Yeah, I think really, that's a good. I think that all sounds like a good. I think that sounds like a good idea for America.
Billionaires should stop fucking getting involved if they claim to care about democracy. So, Sachs then fires back his own letter. Whoo! Here's his letter. He says that this is the most transparently disingenuous outreach I have ever seen, and that he has not even seen the letter yet, even though her entire 800-person House of Delegates have. He then said, he then mainly tries to flatten the distinction that actually matters here. He says that no one spends more forcefully or creatively on politics than she does, pointing to CTU's own PACs and the union's push for a dues increase to fund more political spending. But I think this is where the tell is in his own argument. This is such a fucking narcissist because the power dynamic is so different, and he is describing a system where teachers pool their own money to represent their own interests in the system that they work in. That is not the same thing as a fucking billionaire with his investment banking money buying influence over a system he has no stake in. So they're like, he's trying to say, look, we're both doing, you know, we both have PACs and shit. Not the same. So CPS board president pick is Ilario Dominguez. CTU endorsed him, and he is currently like the director of legislation or something for CTU. So he does lobbying for CTU. And he says that he's entirely unqualified to lead a system the size of CPS. He also criticizes that she previously welcomed a Brandon Johnson board appointee that he characterizes as disbarred and holding conspiracy views. He questioned her standing to police candidate quality. And then he says that cynicism and weakness of her gambit genuinely escapes him. So he's really trying to frame this as they are two equally self-interested spenders, but it's not the fucking same, because one half is a billionaire trying to make sure that he maintains control over a system now that it has finally gotten to the point where people can elect their own. And yeah, so fuck that guy. And then there's more, but do you want to jump in here before I get into the next part of this?
Hey, yes, Republicans hate public schools. That's right. And so do rich assholes. What's up, Chicago Bish? Welcome to the party. Yeah, I've heard about Michael Sachs before because I know he's a huge AIPAC donor. In Chicago-based AIPAC donor. He like runs around with like a lot of.
I mean, he was Rahm Emanuel's biggest funder and closest advisor. And when he was advising him, Rahm Emanuel closed 50 Chicago public schools in mostly Black and brown neighborhoods. Like
that's I can't. Well,
he's
Michael
just a bad guy.
He's not a good. Yeah, he's not a good. He's like all. You know, most people of means just.
He's like the Elon Musk of Chicago.
Yes, that's a good branding. He is the Elon Musk of Chicago. He seems also very like whiny. Like he's like not like Elon Musk in the sense that like Elon Musk like is like bombastic and attacks his enemies like as hard as they attack him. He's
this guy tries to be like, look, I'm just a nice little philanthropist billionaire.
Yeah, he's just a little bitch. He's like he wrote that thing in the Chicago Tribune editorial board where he's like, AIPAC isn't the enemy. It's like
yeah, like why are you trying so hard to convince people that? Why would you have to do shut the fuck up, dude.
And like honestly, dude, like it would like it wouldn't be the enemy if Israel wasn't an apartheid state committing a genocide, but it is, so therefore it's the fucking enemy. And also,
anything that's trying to influence our elections undemocratically is an enemy. Whatever their cause is, that is undemocratic influence of elections.
That was what I was gonna add that. Yeah, you're good clarification there. You are right. It is these guys are so like they're like it's they want their cake and they want to eat it too. It's like you get to have the kind of influence that a hero has on a movie, right? You have this insane amount of influence and money and power so that you can basically essentially shape the narrative however you want. And you cry when people don't think that you're the main character. It's like, why are you guys, if you're joining us from YouTube and you haven't said hello, you're really hurting my feelings. You're really hurting my feelings. I just want to hear from one Valentard. If there are out there, say hello to your little friends. But like, it's so funny how they like are, they're just so like, they get so whingy when they can't be the center of attention in a positive way. They're like, it's like,
or when they're called out for their bullshit because they're so used to their bullshit being normal that they don't think it's bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. They don't understand. That's the thing that was the mistake that Steve Jobs made. Like there's this great documentary about Steve Jobs called it's by Alex Gibney. It's called The Man Behind the Machine. And it's basically about how Steve Jobs like was a sociopath. And so he created the iPhone in his likeness of like, he basically was like, Steve Jobs didn't like people. So he wasn't thinking about people when he created the iPhone. He was thinking about Steve Jobs. And it shows. And the thing that Steve Jobs never understood was that like, if you give people this power, you are democratizing the truth. And a lot of billionaires have done their best to try and de-democratize the truth. But ultimately, what we're beginning to see more and more often is that the truth comes through in the most unlikely places. Like no one would have thought that just like a good like APAC Instagram account would bring this to the forefront of the American discourse. If you're joining us on TikTok, join us somewhere else because we're going to get kicked off pretty soon.
I'm like so hungry. I need to go grab a slice of pizza.
Do it.
But if you want to look at the next CTU letter to him, how he is contesting like 27 of the people on the ballot. It's fucking crazy. Here, let me send it to you, and then I'm gonna go order my pizza really quick.
Good. Do it. Yo, okay, chat, say hello. Say hello. Say hello. Tell me you love me, baby. Telly Savalas. Marky C. All right, Steve, I'm gonna need my Warzone partner back. This man Steve used to run lobbies. Marky Mark, dude. I'm about to purchase the Xbox, dude. I'm getting the PS5 back, dude. It's coming back, man. I'm gonna need to run some lobbies, dude. We're gonna need to go if we're gonna be streaming, Mark. Dude, my Warzone game used to be so good, and then I turned 37, and I thought that I got too old for video games and backwards hats. But I'm coming back into my own, and I've realized that my superpower is never abandoning the inner child in me. It's also my greatest weakness. But I can play video games. It's totally acceptable. I just can't play them all day because I would get addicted to them. It's like everything, really. I would get addicted to streaming if I could. But, I can't. So it is my full-time job now. And if you are able to contribute on Twitch or YouTube or TikTok, that would be fantastic. Me and Meg got a lot of other stuff going on, but this is my full-time job. That's why I do it every day, rain or shine, except weekends. But now I think I might be going on weekends too, folks. I grew a mustache. So I have a lot more free time on my hands now. This mustache has opened up a lot of doors. One day me and Meg are going to talk about toxic tech startups. So I think her and I have enough shared history in that agreement that we're going to talk about that one day. Meg, would that be cool? Well, she's warming up pizza right now, but I don't know if she can hear me or not. What's up, Basel? Free Palestine, baby.
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I used to work for Apple. I worked for Apple for 5 years, and I think my non-disparagement agreement is void because my COBRA never ended up coming through. And I have a lot of shit to say about them, so I'd be happy to talk about it sometime.
Good. I don't have an NDA with my former employer, but
oh yeah,
I have. There are a couple things that they will come to light. So just everybody don't ever we're gonna have Farrah on here in a minute. She's our wonder lawyer. Oh, I do want to talk about we have to talk about something else, but we have to talk about the Arius plot line eventually. Let's do a quick little news roundup. That Michael Sachs segment though, dude, that's why you're great, Meg, because you got like all these little like Easter egg little stories that are really important, but they're like very like small, and like Michael Sachs is probably like, ooh, I can be under the radar. But you're
I'm like, bet, bitch.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, bitch.
Not on my watch.
Not on my watch. And then they're like, who is this person? And
that's why my husband calls me Batman. Like I quietly work in the night just seeking justice.
That's what he calls you. That's hilarious. Yeah, you are kind of like that. That's how we met. Meg was just like, hey, you want to get on some adventures? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I'm like the only guy.
I always need extras.
Yeah, I was like the only guy dumb enough to I mean, I think I was brilliant to say yes and to Meg, because I was just like,
a lot of people do say yes to me, actually.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna go down some weird rabbit holes, but it'll be fun. And
hey, how's it been?
Yeah, dude, life changing, life changing. It has completely made me embrace my in my pirate. Oh, I have to show you the new. Speaking of which.
I don't know where he went, chat, and I'm high, so I'm not as good at being like interactive. And he's a stand-up comedian, so he can just talk and talk and talk. I can't really do that. I'm very autistic, and so I need social feedback.
It's James Connolly. He died in the Easter Rising of 1916.
Oh wow, that's
and
wonderful.
It says here, it says the Irishman frees himself from slavery when he realizes the truth that the capitalist system is the most foreign thing in Ireland.
Hell to the yeah.
Don't ever forget. Don't ever forget the Easter Rising was risen by poets and journalists. That was taken over. They created they public naden on the U.S. on the post office doorstep. It was just a bunch of mooks, dude. Don't forget that mooks can change the course of history. And James Connolly, he stood 10 toes down on business.
Nice.
But yeah, no. So oh yeah, Haley Stevens, cool. I love how Haley Stevens says that she's like part of the Obama auto rescue, but it's like
it's all she has.
If it worked, but yeah, no, but it's such a bad achievement, because if it worked, she wouldn't then like the auto was rescued, right?
My huge ass Illuminatis.
That's good. I like Lou's. It's a good divorced dad slice. I'm gonna have to get that's a good divorced dad slice, because divorced dad snack slice, anything like that. It's basically anything with junk food that has like a lot of something in it. So you can say there's a lot of protein here, but you still gain like 30 pounds. It's like Snickers
There's enough
bars.
cheese that I consider this my protein.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's up.
The tomatoes are my vegetables.
We have a new segment on the show called Divorced Dad Theater. We talk about divorced dad projects and different cinema of the divorced dad. And actually, my friend Jeff, he runs an initiative called Good Fathers, and it's just about men like embracing their like being like wanting to be good dads and being emotionally intelligent dads and like showing up for their kids in like positive, healthy ways. So it's cool. So
That's
and
cool.
he's my best friend, and he's really funny. He's a comedian. He's in our group chat now. So it's cool.
Hell yeah.
He's my trusted advisor, my consigliere, if you will. Also, we're going to be doing live shows soon. Anyways, there's so much to be talking about, but right now we need to talk about map showing high heat temperatures in Europe. I love global warming. It's so crazy that people don't think it's real, because this looks hot to me, right? I mean, that looks hot. I don't know if I can see. Okay, so this is in Fahrenheit. So Madrid is 36 degrees Fahrenheit. So 1.8 is
Celsius, you mean?
Yeah, Celsius. So 36 Celsius. I used to live in Granada, which is down here, like right down here. If you look at the Spanish map of Spain, it's the pomegranate at the bottom of the map. It's right by oh wait, can you see you can't see Spain, I think, right now based on where I have it.
No, I can't.
Oh, it's too bad.
I'm so sad.
Well, here, let me pull up a Spain thing here. Spain temperature. Spain just won the World Cup, which is actually kind of perfect. So, okay. Damn, I was gonna guess the temperature. So it's 101 degrees in Spain, severe temperature. Let's look at El País. That's their newspaper. This is a good newspaper. There's another one that's like kind of more fashy, but aceptar. Okay. México y el WW dan el banderazo de salida a la primera división anual de TEMEC. En su primer cara a cara, los países abordarán reglas de origen, seguridad económica y sectores clave como aceros, automóviles y agricultura. Sorry, I just like to keep.
No entiendo. But I have to go get my little back massage hook thingy.
All right, cool. So yeah, we're looking at Spanish newspaper. Spain had a pretty big World Cup. Love Spain, everybody. Big Spain for fan. I used to live in Spain. I lived in Granada. Shit. That's what I guess. That's like 101 degrees. That's right, Chicago Bish. That's because you're a woman of culture and scholarship and class. You can't buy class, as Chicago Bish knows and Meg knows.
As I sit here in my my back massaging hook.
If you could buy class, there would be so many more classy people than purport to be classy. Yeah, so Chicago true. Bish. So when I lived in Spain, I'm glad that they won the World Cup. It's cool. When I lived in Spain, Spain is like very like they have a lot of like fascist and anti-fascist history. Francisco Franco was the dictator of Spain. He was the longest fascist in power ever. And he died in, I think, 1979. And this is Franco. And he died in 1975. He was a Spanish military general, dictator of Spain from 1939 until 1975. He was, this is crazy. So in 1936, the Civil War broke out. A lot of Americans went and fought for the communists, believe it or not, like Ernest Hemingway. A lot of those guys went and fought for the socialists in Spain, and the Russians backed them. And then basically in 1939, they lost, and then Franco took over. He basically committed a ton of war crimes. If you've ever seen the painting Guernica by Picasso, probably the best painting I've ever seen in person. It's in La Reina Sofia Museum in Madrid, and it is a 1937 painting which characterizes the firebombing of, well, that's a print. It's huge. IRL. It's here we go. This is it. It's huge. It takes up like the whole wall. And it's about how Franco killed a whole entire town of people in Guernica. And basically he spent like his entire reign trying to get rid of different nationalities in Spain. One of the cool reasons that it relates to soccer, football, as they call it in Spain, is because there was Real Madrid, obviously, was Franco's team. Then there's like Atletico Madrid, which Javier Bardem likes them. And Javier Bardem his family was very much part of the good guys in the Spanish Civil War. I think his family has a history of like social justice in Spain. And but the cool thing is that specifically Barcelona, that is why Barcelona is my team, not just because they have the best players, but because Camp Nou, which is their stadium, was one of the few places in Spain where Catalan people could speak Catalan freely. It's one of the main reasons why the Catalonian cultural identity survived during Franco's period, was because people in Spanish soccer fans, Barcelona fans, could go to the stadium during games and talk and speak Catalonian. And yeah, there's a whole fraught history of sports and fascism, like especially FIFA has been very supportive of fascism throughout the years. Obviously, they allowed Chile to basically commit human rights abuses in their stadium. But yeah, no, it's cool to see Spain win, because like the crazy thing about Spain is that like when I lived there in 2011, there was 2 general strikes, and there were women who would come out, get on the bus in Granada, and they would cross themselves every time they passed the Catholic Church, which is what the Franco fascists would make them do. And there was still like Franco statues in Granada that were like honoring the fascists, and like they didn't like take them down or anything. It's pretty crazy how long it stayed in place. Sorry if this isn't interesting, but I'm
just high, so I'm like trying to,
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so in 1979, the generals tried to do a coup, but then the king of Spain at the time, who recently died, I think his name was King Carlos, he like shut up. He called the generals and he's like, y'all need to knock it off. We just got out of a dictatorship. Like the people are tired of this shit. We're doing representative democracy. And then in 2011, The other crazy thing that happened was ETA, which was kind of like the IRA for Basque Country. They disarmed for the first time, and like they didn't disarm until 2011, and it was like on the front page of El País. It was like ETA has finally disarmed permanently. They had, I think they were the last paramilitary force other than the FARC, which was the Fuerzas Armadas Revolucionarios Colombianos in Colombia. They were the last. FARC was the last one to disarm, but ETA in Spain, Basque Country, they were the last ones to disarm. And yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Damn.
It's a pretty crazy country. It's very interesting.
It is a really interesting country. I mean, the history is all of the empires that have kind of, I don't know, it's just been such like a different imperial movements and migrations and, you know, colonialism and all the things that continue to happen throughout time. I'm wondering if I should start just queuing up the story about Netanyahu.
Yes, please.
While we wait for Farah. Okay.
Yeah, and then I can keep talking about Argentina now because I have a whole other Argentina presentation. So, Argentina is interesting because of the Argentina in 1985. They had a military junta. This is a good movie that I just watched. Not a divorced dad classic. Could be eventually one day. Ricardo Darín is in the movie Cuatro Reinas, which is called Four Queens. It's one of the best heist movies of all time. 1999, great movie. But the 1985 Argentina is about the pursuit of justice for the military junta that disappeared, Los Desaparecidos. And I actually went there with I went there a couple years ago, and there's a great museum about it. And it was during the Argentinian Dirty War, which is actually very, very similar to how the Trump administration is prosecuting their war against us and protesters and things like that. It's pretty scary because from 1976 to 1983, the Argentinian government basically took dissidents and subversives and disappeared them. Eva Perón was Eva Perón was ousted in 1976, and they began a campaign to crush dissent from their autocratic rule. And then they proceeded to remove people that were social workers, social work students, militants, trade unionists, writers, journalists, artists, and anyone suspected of being a left-wing activist. They were kidnapped, tortured, murdered. Bodies were disappeared by the government. It all took place in this like naval base. It was kind of like this. Had this very banal name, very innocuous. And this is part of the reason why it's so important that everybody is all hands, 10 toes down about anybody who is being mistreated by the Trump administration, because a lot of this is already happening. And there were 30,000 people that ultimately were being that were disappeared. And there were a lot of like horrible prison camps and concentration camps that took place in Argentina. And eventually what happened was the Argentinian people stood up on business. What's up, Reagan? And I'm trying to find Los Mayo sisters Argentina. Eventually what happened was it was actually the Mothers of the Plaza del Mayo that were an Argentinian human rights organization that formed in the response to the military dictatorship. And they worked to find the disappeared people. And it really makes me, I'm going to start to cry a little bit because it was really just in 1977, it was just a bunch of old ladies. Like my grandmother would have done this. And they just got together and were like, enough is enough. And they rose awareness, and they helped create they created a march of resistance that was held, and it was mostly just women. And then they really fought hard for the trial of the juntas in 1985, which is what that movie is about. Argentina 1985, and these were the assholes that disappeared all of those people, the generals. So yeah, I mean, a lot of people have been rightfully tough on the Argentinian soccer fans that have been racist, but Argentina has a strong, proud history of human rights and fighting back against these kind of assholes in ways that we're going to have to learn how, because if we don't, we're going to be doing trials. I mean, we're going to have to do trials anyways, but
well, on that note,
Farrah's here.
Farrah is here, and we're going to talk about Netanyahu. I'll share my screen. I'll take over.
Hello.
Hi, Farrah. I was just getting emotional about the Argentina military junta. Oops, sorry.
I mean, for good reason. It was a horrible, time period.
Yeah, it was bad, and it was kind of. We were talking about the Sisters of the Plaza del Mayo.
Mm-hmm.
Those old ladies who were like, "No."
Yeah.
And so it was good. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much for having me back.
How have you been?
Hanging in there. Feels like the world's on fire and we're all just standing in the smallest crawl space we can find.
For real. Now, have you seen the movie Argentina in 1985?
I think I have. I think I actually watched it in a Spanish class back in high school.
Dang, you are wait, no way. When did that movie come out? I feel like it's 2024. Am I that old?
Oh, well, no, then I didn't. I know I learned about Argentina. There was a similar movie I watched, but if it came out in 2024, that was definitely not high school for me. That wasn't even law school for me anymore.
Okay, good. So I'm not okay, cool. Well, Farrah, is it Farrah or Farah? Farrah, okay. Farrah, tell us about BB.
Well, I'm going to cue it up.
Oh, yeah, you cue it up.
I'm going to cue it up.
I'm going to show
Okay,
it.
so, yeah. Shush. Okay. So, first of all, ICC warrant was issued on November 21st, 2024 to Benjamin Netanyahu for the charges of responsible for the war crimes of starvation as a method of warfare and of intentionally directing an attack against the civilian population and the crimes against humanity of murder, persecution, and other humane acts from at least the 8th of October 2023 until at least the 20th of May 2024. So he has warrants out for his arrest in the criminal court. Now, the Trump administration has vowed to disable the International Criminal Court. So that's a whole thing now because they just don't want the ICC to have any say in the United States and whether or not it is committing war crimes or enabling war crimes or any sort of accountability. Now, Mamdani has always said that if Netanyahu comes to New York City, he will arrest him. So now this was just yesterday. Here is Mamdani. Oh, I think I forgot to put sound on. So hold on. Let me reshare 1 second. Share screen, share window. Is it just going to work? There is no option for me to. Okay. Well, I guess it will just work. Okay. So I'm going to play it. Tell me if you can't hear it, though, because it did not give me the option to share sound.
No, we can't hear it. Send me the link. I'll play it on mine.
Okay. Sending the link.
But just to say, Mamdani has for sure promised this. He has double, triple promised on this. So let me put this to the stage and then remove this. Oh, Jim Cramer was on stage. That's horrible. Just a little side note, if Jim Cramer ever tells you to buy stock, sell it.
If someone is charged with a warrant by the International Criminal Court for these kinds of crimes, that's something I believe that should be honored.
Mayor Mamdani continues to consider his legal options when it comes to arresting Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for alleged war crimes. Mamdani doubled down on his criticism of the world leader on Monday amid questions about whether he would try to arrest him.
We're speaking about someone who's the subject of an International Criminal Court arrest warrant. And he's the subject of this arrest warrant for alleged crimes against humanity, for war crimes, and he's the architect of the genocide against Palestinians in Gaza. These are not facts of my personal assessment. They are facts of public record.
It was in an interview with the New York Times over the weekend that the mayor said he was in active conversation with the city's law department on whether he could direct the police department to arrest Netanyahu. The Israeli prime minister is expected to attend the United Nations General Assembly in September. But President Donald Trump has already stepped in to quell the effort. In a Truth Social post, Trump said in part that Netanyahu will not be arrested in any way, shape, or form while in the United States of America. The only ones that should be arrested are the people that led Iran into this unprecedented spiral of death and destruction, something that should have been dealt with years ago by previous presidents. Experts told New York One Mamdani likely has no...
Wait. But it sounds like Trump kind of agreed with him, because I'm pretty sure that didn't he...
He didn't say anything about whether or not Netanyahu committed war crimes. He's just like completely deflected onto Iran. Farah, I think you're muted.
Sorry, I was like, okay, if you are saying the person who should be arrested is the person who led Iran into a destructive war, I mean, we're on the same page here. Netanyahu should be arrested.
Yeah. See, that's what's up. They agree. It should be Netanyahu.
Wow, never thought I would agree with Donald Trump on something. Here we are.
Legal authority to arrest Netanyahu. Rebecca Ingber, a professor of law at the Cardozo School of Law, told New York One in a statement that Netanyahu has state immunity, which shields sitting heads of state and government from criminal jurisdiction. She noted that as a member of the UN, he also is protected while in the city for the General Assembly.
It's completely detached from reality, and it goes against everything the United Nations really stands for, bringing people together.
Jonathan Haranoff, Israel's former international spokesperson at the United Nations, told New York One that Mamdani's statements are political theater amid legal precedent not allowing the arrest. Haranoff said that the General Assembly is about world leaders coming together to solve international problems and not about Mamdani's issues with Netanyahu.
But ultimately, I think the mayor should stay in his lane. There are plenty of problems, domestic issues that the mayor of New York City should be focused on.
Mamdani seemed to acknowledge that other laws may keep him from following up on his efforts.
My administration will follow all applicable local laws. That is our commitment. That is something that we will follow through on.
Kelly Mena, New York One.
Okay. Well, it's a good thing if we knew any lawyers, this would be super helpful. Do you know anybody, Meg?
Oh, yeah, my girl Farah. I asked her to come here because what the fuck? Like,
Wait, I'm a lawyer? Oh, shoot.
Oh,
didn't realize.
She just did the Odysseus thing. I am nobody. That's good. Farah, you're a lawyer. Tell us your CV, like, real quick. Like, what's your specialty? Like, what kind of law do you practice? Tell us about the org, just real quick, so that everybody knows your bona fides. I trust you, though.
Well, thank you. And honestly, if I say my CV, I don't know if everyone will trust me, but they should. Hopefully, I think. My name is Farah Chalisa. I'm an international human rights attorney in Chicago. And my practice has looked kind of, especially in the last couple of years, like a mixture of all sorts of things. I like to think of myself as almost like emergency legal relief sometimes. Like it's like whatever people need who are. So like the people I represent are usually the ones who are the most vulnerable in society, or I, much to my parents' dislike, like taking on the cases that nobody else wants to take on because they're too risky, or they go against traditional institutions. I'm like, what? It puts me at risk. Bring it on. But
You're
usually
cool.
it's because
You're a real one, Farah.
Thank you. I actually got a call from jail today. A random person had looked me up, and he was like, I was like, at the end of the call, I was like, how did you find me? Like, what made you reach out to me? He has like an innocence claim for murder. He's been in prison since like 2007 for it. He was like, yeah, I was just trying to look up like attorneys who seem like they don't really trust the system. And like, that's how I came across you. And I was like, low key, that's pretty awesome. Like if that's my rep, like if that's the vibe you're getting from me, like I'm into it. you know?
Yeah. That's pretty
That's
cool.
pretty badass.
There's no such thing as halfway crooks on the SEO. Like you're that's good shit. That's good shit. That is like the best. That is damn. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I was like, thanks for the compliment. Like, flattery will work because now I do want to take on your case.
So
but yeah, so I practice international human rights work that's involved, and a lot of it is focused on Palestine, on Iran, on the U.S.'s illegal actions in Iran, the U.S. complicity in the genocide in Palestine, and the attacks in Lebanon, as well as representing American citizens, Palestinian Americans who have been affected by the genocide, and then doing victims' rights representation, civil rights representation here domestically, whether that be representing victims of hate crimes or bringing claims against ICE and the U.S. government. So really, it's like I like to take on state actors or those who abuse their power and represent the victims of that abuse.
That's incredible. So the comedian's code of conduct is comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable.
Love it.
And it sounds like, I mean, technically that phrase comes from a satirical column in the Chicago Tribune from the turn of the 19th century. But the guy was making fun of the fact that newspapers don't do that. But I've kind of co-opted it. It sounds like you're doing a lot of that. Comforting.
No, I like it. It reminds me of my Instagram bio. Actually, it's liberating the oppressed and litigating the oppressor.
Dang, that's what's up, man. Cool. Law school is still cool. All right. Let's do it. All right. So now that we got an idea of the, sorry, Meg, keep going. My bad. I'm just getting excited.
No, you're good. So yeah, can Mamdani tell us about the jurisdiction issues? Tell us about the Roman statute. Tell us all of the things that we could not get from this segment.
Yeah, so I've been researching this topic for a long time, and specifically the topic of can U.S. domestic courts hold individuals responsible for the genocide in Palestine legally accountable? And that's looked like, a lot of the work is centered on Americans who go to the IDF, who join the IDF and commit war crimes and then come back here and live perfectly comfortable lives, in the shadows of the ghosts of everybody that they've killed and maimed and tortured. And so it's, that's something I've looked into a lot. And with Netanyahu, of course, it does become more complicated. A lot of what was mentioned in that video is true. And I don't want to sidestep that, yes, head of state immunity is an issue. UN headquarters immunity is an issue. UN General Assembly immunity is an issue, but they're not insurmountable issues. And international law has seen immunity be overridden when the crimes are so severe that they are crimes against humanity, war crimes, genocide, slavery. Those are examples where international law has actually allowed head of state immunity and UN immunity to be overridden.
I'm raising my hand.
Steve.
Quick question. Can you give some examples in recent history where the UN jurisdictional the immunity was superseded by crimes against humanity?
Yeah, actually, there's a case that's Yusuf versus Samantar. It was a Fourth Circuit crime. It was a Fourth Circuit case in the U.S. And that one actually, literally, the ruling was that what's called jus cogens, which is that stands for customary international law. And jus cogens stand for the worst crimes in international law, aka again genocide, slavery, war crimes. So that case, Yusuf versus Samantar, it literally ruled that jus cogens violations strip official immunity.
Wait, so there's case law that supports the predicate for, I don't know if I use the word predicate correctly, but there's case law that supports the idea of rescinding the immunity that they're claiming Netanyahu's entitled to?
There's quite a lot actually.
U.S.
But
case
it's
law.
U.S. case law, and in fact, there's actually like Second Circuit case law, which is, if Mamdani was to arrest Netanyahu and if he was to be charged, it would be in the Second Circuit. And another example is this case Kadik versus Karadzic, where a state official, like a head of state, came to a UN conference, and he was served with process for a lawsuit brought against him while he was at the UN conference. And so, of course, he asserted head of state immunity and said, I can't be held liable for a crime, which means I can't be served with process for a U.S. court. And the courts actually said he was eligible to be served, and that courts do have jurisdiction over a foreign leader in New York when it comes to genocide and war crimes.
Which country was that guy? Was that from the former Yugoslavia or something?
I believe it was I want to say Serbia.
That sounds like one of Slobodan Milosevic's dudes.
Yeah.
Or the Croatians or the Bosnians or
Serbia, yes.
Yeah,
he
Serbia.
was president of Bosnian Serbian Republic.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. That's what are you doing, Captain?
That's fascinating. That's good to know, because I could not find this information anywhere.
Well, I think
it is
possible. It is, and like none of these are exact precedents, right? And a lot of it involves like foreign leaders or leaders of countries that like we don't have an allyship with, the way that, for reasons I will never understand, we do with Israel. But that being said, like that's where you have to get creative, is there in the New York Times interview, Mamdani said, we will not be writing new laws. And I think like by no means should he write new laws, but I think there are a lot of existing domestic laws that, applied strategically and creatively would allow him to arrest Netanyahu. And actually one that really stands out to me is, so there's this domestic statute. It's USC 3041. And so that statute's entire purpose is to say if somebody has committed a federal offense of the United States, whether that be, a foreign, even if it's a foreign actor.
Yeah.
So let me say that again. If somebody commits a federal offense against somebody in the United States, even if that person is a foreign actor, it lists basically a number of people and roles who are allowed to authorize arrest of that individual.
Interesting.
Okay.
So,
and mayor of a city is specifically listed there. So
is it any city or New York City?
Any city. So this is a federal statute. So essentially, to say it like less complicatedly, federal statute lists mayor of a city alongside federal judges and other political officials as official authorities that can arrest somebody for a federal offense.
And correct me if I'm wrong, quick follow-up here. Like, we obviously know about like colonialism, imperialism, things like that. And I feel like there has also been, especially with respect to like Iran and Hezbollah and Lebanon, like there has been precedent of U.S. trials taking place against or like charges being brought. Am I crazy about this? Like the Lockerbie bombing and like the embassy bombings in 1981 in Beirut. Like, wasn't there an attempt to bring those perpetrators to justice?
Yes, there have been. And in fact, recently, so the Justice for Victims of War Crimes Act, Biden revamped it. So I believe it was, I want to say 2022 or 2024, in which it was updated that actually allowed for more accountability. And guess the first case it was brought against were members of Hamas. And it's like, there's no reason why Like, I mean, a head of state, of course, it gets more complicated. But again, like Americans or even non-Americans, but like IDF paramilitary members,
we
why
can look
why
at
can it be used against
crimes he's committed against Americans. He ordered the hit on the GSF veterans. Not it wasn't the veterans boat, but there were veterans on the boat, and it was reported by CBS. Like, it was reported that he called for the hit. Like, there are crimes he has committed against Americans that why can't we
Not
put
to
out a
mention-
warrant out for those?
No,
Not
and
to
there's
mention kids in the settlements that were killed. There were American
Yeah.
citizens. There. The kid
Yeah.
from Florida. What was his name? He was 16 years old. He was murdered.
Mohammed Ibrahim, she was on.
I think about him every day. Like one way or another, I'm determined to, to
Yeah.
hold those responsible for his murder accountable. It's just horrific. It's just horrific. A U.S. kid from Florida, like, his last conversation with his dad was about how he was excited because he wanted to start looking for a wife to get married. Like,
that sweet kid. My best friends growing up were Palestinian,
oh,
and they used to go home every summer. They would fly to, and so it could have just as easily happened to any of my friends growing up. It's like, it's really, really infuriating when the law is designed to hold people accountable, but it selectively views people as less than in the eyes of the law, and the mechanisms by which they hold people who are supposedly the quote unquote, it holds one side far more accountable than the other, and it's bullshit. Because that's not the mechanism well, I'm not going to tell you, Farah. It's just in my opinion as a layperson, the law is like comedy. It's objective. It's supposed to be objective. It's either funny or it isn't.
It's absolutely not.
Well, I mean, but comedy is far more objective than the law, because either you laugh at that shit or you don't. But like, the law should strive to be like comedy, not funny, just objective.
Yeah. I'm with you. I mean, so to like basically lay it out, you have. So essentially, like what I think is like Mamdani's speeches, they're focused a lot on the ICC warrant. And
Right.
I mean, he's not wrong. And in any other administration, the ICC warrant should be enough for a mayor of a city or any official to arrest. Heck, it should be enough for a citizen's arrest of Netanyahu, But in this administration that is hell-bent on dismantling the ICC and has literally, given the ICC zero leeway, and in fact has sanctioned the ICC.
Well, Democrats have sanctioned it too. Haley Stevens.
You're so right. When I say administration, I mean everyone in power. I shouldn't refer.
Sorry, I didn't mean to mansplain or like interrupt.
No, you're right. It's an important distinction because it's Democrats and Republicans alike involved in sanctioning the ICC and allowing Israel to commit human rights abuses with impunity. So it's like the ICC's warrant, though it should be, will not be taken seriously here, But I think what we often miss in this conversation is we don't even necessarily need the ICC warrant. The ICC warrant isn't the method. It's actually the evidence. It's another piece of all of the amount of evidence, whether it be human rights reports from Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch, or like you said, news reports from CNN and CBS. I mean, we have like first person testimony of people who have been there and been victims of war crimes firsthand here in the United States, U.S. citizens and New Yorkers, right? There are literally New Yorkers who have lost family members, who were tortured themselves, who, have faced the consequences of an apartheid and genocidal state and who are U.S. citizens. We have domestic statutes that can be applied, and they may not have ever been applied in this specific context. That doesn't mean they can't be. I mean, that's the whole point of, legal application of law. What's the point of a law that you just never use or apply? So you have 3041, which is a domestic statute, which says mayor of the city can authorize his police department to arrest Netanyahu if he committed a federal offense. So then you ask, what are the federal offenses? And there are, so many, but two statutes come to mind. One is a Genocide Accountability Act. And the Genocide Accountability Act specifically says in its text that jurisdiction, it gives U.S. courts jurisdiction over genocide committed anywhere in the world when the alleged perpetrator is in the United States. And there is no head of state immunity exception in the statute. And so
wow.
At that point, it's like, well, what do we listen to? Do we listen to this domestic statute, or do we follow what, you know, some consider to be international law and head of state immunity, which again, there's
This
exceptions
is
to
literally
international
U.S. law.
too. But
Like, we don't even have to go down that path. We can just say, like, okay, according to U.S. law, he is breaking U.S. law, and per this statute, we can arrest him.
And U.S.
That's
courts
wild.
have always,
tinfoil.
you know, held domestic statutes as overriding international law. I mean, that's a precedent many, many cases have set in this country.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
And so it's like, even if we don't look at international law at all, you know, domestically we have enough. And where there were instances like Congress. So one thing we learn when studying the law is we often analyze law by, one way we analyze it is by trying to understand what the intention of Congress was when they created that statute. Mm-hmm. And there are many statutes in which Congress did actually include some sort of head of state immunity, you know? And so if they intended for one to be in this statute, they would have put it in, but it's not there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then there's the War Crimes Act. Again, War Crimes Act covers war crimes against U.S. nationals. Plenty of war crimes have been committed against U.S. nationals. No head of state immunity exception is in that statute.
Wow. This is...
Damn. So you're saying there's a chance.
So here's the thing. There's, I believe, a lot of law to support it. And, you know,
but it's about the courts and whether or not they...
Yeah. So it's about the courts. It's about will you know, a federal prosecutor's office be willing to charge Netanyahu with these crimes? And then if he is charged, will a federal court allow that case to stand? And to me, if you make the legal argument strong enough, I think a federal judge would want to at least go through the arguments, because, you know, it looks frivolous to throw out something when you haven't even analyzed the arguments of jurisdiction, particularly if they're arguments that haven't been made before. It's a court's responsibility to analyze those arguments. But to me, like, you know, I think about like best and worst case scenario too. And if the worst case scenario is that Netanyahu or that Mamdani arrests Netanyahu, that he's held in a jail cell for a couple of hours, the Justice Department gets involved and says, you got to let him go, and he's let go. Honestly, that's still great.
That's a win.
That's still a win. Like, who doesn't want to see him
that, like, not
cell?
every,
And that's the thing. It's you don't when you get into a fight with God, you don't fight to kill, because you're not going to kill God. But if you punch him in the nose and show that he can bleed, then you've made a lot of progress.
The dominoes.
And over here, it's like the opposite. You know, I'm like, Mamdani, go get in a fight with Satan. Like,
yeah, right, exactly. But like, it's if you can prove that he's not. I mean, they didn't get Capone on murder; they got him on tax evasion, but they got him behind bars. And that's the thing. Is my whole thing is like the story, right? So like the story right now is that this guy's been above the law. But if you get a mugshot of him taking the beef for this, then it creates a permission structure. Meg taught me that word, Farah. Permission.
It's a great one. Permission structure. I like it.
Yeah, it creates a permission structure and shifts the Overton window so that we stop seeing Netanyahu the way that Jake Tapper wants us to see him, which is like this like stalwart.
Fuck you, Jake Tapper.
Yeah, fuck you, Jake Tapper. Never invited on the Party Crashers. But I fuck with Don Lemon. He can come anytime. But yeah, no, that would be cool. I'm for this. I think I'm gonna sign off as the I'm gonna sign off on this plan as the resident goober.
Honestly, I'm trying to get an audience with Mamdani, because I wanna be like, listen, let me talk to your legal team. Let me strategize with them. I will help you with this plan, and I will defend you if it goes wrong. Like I will, you can have any legal expertise I have, even the ones I don't. I'll learn it, but let me share
on the
what is
case,
like
at
years of
least.
research with you, because I've been waiting for this exact moment for so long. And it's time, I mean, it's past time, but like Netanyahu's arrest is like such a long time coming. It's like the least that we could do is put him in a jail cell for a few hours, and it's like whether he intended it or not, Mamdani is like not just New York's mayor. How many people across the country have been like, that's my mayor? And it's because like he made
Across
the
the
promises
world.
that he like across the world. He made the promises and he said the things that like people wanted to hear, and they relied on him, and New Yorkers voted on him because for once they believed the word of a politician, And so, watching him keep so many promises already, I'm like, I'm glad that he's, he's coming down on this one and saying he's still planning on keeping it. I hope he can sweet talk Trump. Because I don't know, he has those magic powers from that one time, he was in the White House. Even when Trump responded to him, like him saying he's going to arrest Netanyahu in the New York Times interview, I was like, this is like the nicest I've heard Trump like come at someone,
And he didn't call out Zoran by name in that tweet. He didn't do the thing that he does with Obama every time. Barack Hussein Obama. He didn't do the Barack Hussein Obama construction.
Yeah.
Which is really when Trump is fighting off of his back foot, because Trump has a preternatural ability to create heroes and villains in his story. And so the fact that he depersonalized the rebuttal shows that it proved it was very much like a token defense. I don't think Trump likes Bibi.
He doesn't. I don't think so. I think he's sick of him.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think he does not like. Trump is a con man. Like con men, nobody hates getting conned harder than con men.
Yeah.
So well, Farah, you're like
fascinating.
You're our Party Crashers legal correspondent if you want the job.
Nice. I would love that.
Sweet. Then come on anytime.
Come on anytime. And in exchange for your contributions, what we're going to do is make sure that our editor, Chris, if you're watching this, we're going to make sure that we do a little short with this, and he'll put some cool graphics to cite the case law in the short, so that our audience knows that what you're talking about is substantiated by what we do. And we'll make sure that we get some people to collaborate it and hopefully raise awareness of this, because not only is it an important moral and legal victory, but it's also really interesting and gives me hope in a time where God knows we all need it.
I know. I'm glad to hear it, honestly. Like, we have to hold on to every little strand of hope we can find.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. Well, thank you for what you do. Thank you for spending your time with us.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. Love you guys. Love your show. And happy to be back anytime.
Perfect. And don't forget, we're doing an auction of the domains. My life had other plans, but don't worry. The domain auction is still happening in earnest.
Ooh, can we do arrestnetanyahu.com?
Oh, Mag! I think that might be
right. I think we do. I think we should.
I think that would be
Okay, amazing.
All right, yeah, I think.
That would be so fun, and then we can put your video breaking down how he can be arrested.
I love it, and we can put AI. Okay, no, we shouldn't use AI. We can get some great artists who can put together images of him in a jail cell, and I can look at them and have sweet dreams before I fall asleep,
Hell yeah. Keep us motivated.
Let's see here. I think we just bought
stop.
I got
or arrest Bibi.
Oh, arrest Bibi.
Ooh, I like that one too.
That one's crisp.
Arrestbibi.com. Love
it. Bibi. Oh, yeah, got it. All right.
Amazing.
And I got .llc, .fyi, .now. I spent like $30 on this. Okay, good. We're good. We have I'm not gonna put .lol. That's not funny. .info. .me. Okay, cool. We're on it.
Oh my god, what about .il? Isn't that Israel's, or is it .is?
Oh, I feel like I might.
What about .doj?
Ooh.
I don't think you can do a government suffix on. I don't.
Yeah, Israel is .il.
Ooh, .fyi. Oh, it's .il.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, if we're not in the, I don't think you can get it. I don't think I can get an Israeli domain from
Damn.
my, whatever it's called.
VPN.
All right.
Move the VPN. Just kidding.
And I used to do that when I got a better Irish accent, so I got Irish ads on my podcast. Okay, well, I got 5 of them for you, Farah. So that's
nice, amazing. Okay, we gotta get started on this right away.
Let's get to work.
Perfect.
All right.
All right.
Thank you,
thanks,
Farah.
you guys.
We'll
Take
see you
care.
soon.
See you soon.
Mhm.
You're
Bye-bye.
blessed. Thank
Bye.
you so much. Dude, we have the coolest friends, Mag. You have the coolest friends that are becoming my friends now. They're so talented.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Totally.
She's the greatest.
Yeah, she is.
She's so nice. And
Oh, I was really like looking everywhere. Oh, yes, Farah, but I can remove you from here. Kick from studio. Bye-bye.
I'm I'm buying these domains. Don't worry. It's not like I need the money or anything. It's worth it though. International human rights are worth $28. Far more than that. So
Okay.
what else? I think that we're almost at time because we have to get prepared for our
we
next
have a meeting
super important
at
meeting.
4. We're actually talking to Abdul Sayed, and then after that, we're going to talk to Rokana. But those won't be live, but we'll be able to like give important updates. And for Ro, I think we can clip. So if you guys have questions, drop them in our comments, and we'll try to take a look. Anything you want us to ask Abdul, anything you want us to ask Rokana about his West Bank trip.
Yes.
All right, y'all. We'll be back. I should be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. with Lauren, but I have to confirm with her. If not, I might take tomorrow off.
Yeah, I have some stuff. I think I might come by tomorrow. We might do. I was gonna do the election tonight, but I think I need to focus on some me stuff. But
Yeah.
we'll do. I'll definitely try and come on tomorrow for a little while. Say hello to the people for a half hour. I'm just trying to finish getting these. All right, good. I got them. So we'll tell Farah we got the domains. Yeah, tomorrow we're going to do. Please tell Abdul he's the bomb. I absolutely will. Chicago Bish. And then I think tomorrow, if I do come on, it'll be around 3. I'll drop a reel so that everybody knows what's going on.
Oh, but Chicago Bish, on Thursday, Andrew's going to come on to talk about the race for Chewy's seat. I saw that you made a comment that you wanted him to talk about it.
Yeah.
So he'll come on Thursday at 2:30.
Yeah, Thursday at 2:30. Okay, cool. Well, we are the Party Crashers. You are our audience. We love you. And everybody stay frosty and have a great rest of your summer day.
All right, later.
Thanks. I won't be high. Yeah, that makes